All right, I got a swerve for you. Okay, everybody is so confident that Samoa Joe is going to walk out of Revolution as champion, and that Hangman should never be champion again. But how would you all feel if Hangman was, in fact, our new world champion at Revolution? How upsetting would that be to you? I don't think anyone's coming into this going, I think Hangman is going to win this. So doesn't that kind of make it perfect how unlikely it is, right? But what if we get deranged cowboy going around hanging people, Hangman, as our world champion? Willing to do anything, willing to drink blood to win.
I mean,
I like it.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's going to hold it long. I don't think he's going to hold the belt for. I think Swerve's going to take it off him at the next chance possible. Maybe at the pay-per-view the show the next night, the go home show. Like, I don't think he's going to hold it long. But since it's so unlikely, I'm kind of rooting for it because nobody is rooting for Hangman. So I'm going to root for Hangman on this.
It's all in the chase, right? So having a heel champion to have a face fan favorite chase is in the money. And everybody knows that right now, the way Swerve's going, picking up steam with the crowd, getting that fan favorite. Say the unpredictable happens and heel Hangman Page takes the title off of Joe. That also demoralizes Joe because he just won the title in December, and he would only be a transitional champion. Where I'm with Connor, I think he deserves a good run as champion and needs to have that one-on-one with Swerve, not this three-way. This three-way is just to further the story between Swerve and Hangman on top of Joe continuing his dominance. I do believe Joe pins Hangman to where Swerve finds a way to get that one-on-one with him at maybe Double or Nothing. So for that, I wouldn't be shocked with the way booking has been in AEW that they're like, here, Hangman, take the title, but I do believe we're going to get the story of Joe retaining, pinning Hangman, continuing the whole push of Swerve stepping up to that role, being, I still want that title. So this whole thing is just good storytelling. It just, that payoff has to work. We talk about it with creative, and creative has to happen. So whether that goes the way it goes at Revolution, who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
This week for me was all about the Young Bucks across two programs, across Dynamite and Rampage. They went right from bloodying up Sting and Darby Allin into wrestling a match in the same blood-soaked suits. This is my favorite thing the Young Bucks have done. Maybe since the Kenny Omega Hangman situation, which I didn't really even think of them as a really major component of that. This is probably the coolest stuff that they've done since starting AEW. Everybody hates on the Young Bucks. They literally built the place. This AEW was founded on their YouTube channel. They started this. So you got to give them that. People like to try to deny them that. But this is amazing. I love the iconic bloody look. I hope they take it right to the pay-per-view. And yeah, I don't know where that's going to go. I guess we're going to look at... it was a major tip-off to me when they came out to music that sounded a lot like Roman Reigns. I think that they're going to do a reign of terror with the tag team belts that's going to last a good 2-3 years. It's going to be amazing and horrible all at the same time.
Yeah, I kind of feel they're kind of running with the what's best for business.
Yeah,
the Mr. McMahon, and that's always worked in the '90s, so they're running with it.
Let's go.
Vince ran with it when the whole Bret Hart thing happened, and then he was exposed as this bastard, and then he ran. That's when the character got created, Mr. McMahon. So they're just doing the same thing. So it's great. So, Byron, what do you feel about this one? You look like you need to.
I love it so much. I am right there. I'm totally there. I've always loved them, and I've always been in their corner in a sense they're doing what right now what I think is perfect for them, because there's really only one way to answer to that natural nuclear heat, and that's to lean into it, and they're really leaning into it.
I can see them taking those white suits and turn them into shirts to make it look like the white suit with blood on them and everything. That's money right there. That's money merchandise. That's huge. But no, the second point I gotta make is Nicholas and Matthew totally turning into the EVP heels. Definitely what it was needed. A lot of people have to remember most of this has to go through Sting, because Sting has a lot of creative input on his plan to retire. So Sting was actually, what I've read is that Sting wasn't big on winning the tag titles, but they wanted to reward him because he was helping AEW, you know, so he was with them, you know, for a long time, for a while. I mean, almost since their creation, you know. So, but you know, stepping in during the COVID years to kind of do that and work with Darby and kind of, you know, give the fan base one last run in pro wrestling. So most of it has to go through Sting. So Sting had to approve this whole story with the Young Bucks. I do believe and do agree with Connor that I don't think the Bucks win at Revolution. The best belief I can think of, the end of this whole, the world's end, as to say our last pay-per-view, but the world's end to this story is basically retiring as a champion. I can see the Young Bucks coming out and using their their EVP powers as, hey, we're going to appoint ourselves tag champions, and there's going to be a tournament of tag teams to challenge us. So best of luck to everybody. And a lot of people don't know this, but I believe I've read somewhere that Sting's sons are trained. One of them is a wrestler, but one is training to be a wrestler because he was a football player. So they're both in training right now. So I do see them coming into AEW, like the Bucks using their power to be like, hey, since you retired a champion, these belts are vacated. We're going to appoint ourselves as champions because there's nobody else, because you were our last match. And I can see a tag team tournament to see who would chase them. And here's one of my best predictions I can put out there. If they do this and run it for a while, I see Jurassic Express reuniting and winning the tag titles again.
Oh, I love it. You're just trying to upset AEW fans. It's great.
I pretty much am, yeah.
Stop what you're doing, baby, and follow Mr. Hargrave from parts unknown, if you will, baby.
I've seen the demon's face.
Mark Twain, one half a private party, say what up to the grave diggers, and keep doing your thing.
On my knees in praise of the horrible things that took her away.
Watch another video or be cursed.